Howdy ho, builders! Welcome to my second, possibly third installment of No Man's Logic. Or Beyond Logic, whatever you would want to call it. So, today I'm going to show you some basic stuff that you've all probably figured out already, but I just want to show it off anyway. So, my friend A-Rock had the idea of coming up with an analog clock. Good idea! Awesomeness. So yeah, right. Each gate takes like a second to trigger, so it's pretty easy. Line up 60 of them and you've got yourself a minute. Wow, isn't that something? Let's put that back. So I had the idea, let's get a little more mathy. And I said, okay, 60, instead of 60 of these little chaser circuits, why don't we do 5 sets of 12? Or, well, that is 60, right? About 12 sets of 5. So here's what I came up with. Anyway, enough talk. So we got your basic blinker circuit right here. Right, so this one triggers the next one, which triggers the next one, which triggers the next one, and it just keeps going 5 and 5 and 5. And then I go, oh, okay, here's this cool scorekeeper circuit that Feralbyte came up with. Feralbyte, YouTube user. I will link his channel in the description, as well as A-Rock's, because he gave me this idea. So yeah. So every time this 5 count gets to the end, it lights up the next segment of this 12-stepperoo. So in all, you get 260 seconds. By the time you reach the end of this, it sets off a reset and it starts all over again. This is a tricky little number right here. Because of the delay, I need to trigger this reset thingamajig on number 2 and 3. I need to be a 2-second long upstate in order to synchronize with the final light here. So when the final light here is lit and the final light here is lit, it needs to go back to the beginning. But so this takes 2 clicks to propagate through its little 2-input AND gate here. So this one's coming from the final 12, and this one's coming from the 2 and 3 step. And when those are high at the same time, it cuts power to your entire array of 12 little latch circuits. So let's turn this sucker on and see it work. Right. 4, 5, and that one lights. 2, 3, 4, 5. Second one lights. 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so on. So out here we're going to see it piling up until it gets round to 12. And then the whole sucker will start over. So I put a couple of option switches in. One of them like turns the 12 on to start, so it doesn't just sort of hang there for 5 seconds before the number 1 lights up. There's some optimizations that could be made. One thing I want to do is make it so basically it's just a single light or 2 lights that chase around instead of it all lighting up at once. So it goes off and then it goes on. This little switch here tells me whether I light up like 12 when I first turn it on. It was an experiment. Didn't necessarily work that great. Oh, so here, let me show you the reset circuit. So every time 2 and 3 light up, you get this going high. This guy here. So this one, the last light and that go high at the same time, you get this. cutting power, which starts the whole thing over again. Wait about 15 seconds, we'll see that happen. And you'll see why we need a 2-second delay, because this guy takes 1 second, this guy takes 1 second. So here it comes, boom, boom, off. There it is. And we start over. Well, there you have it. So for this circuit, I will direct you to Ferrelbyte, and that's it. Or you could just take a look at it here. It's pretty simple. It's a 2-input AND between the previous light and the 5 count. So every time the 5 count ends, it lights up this whole row. But it only satisfies both inputs of the AND gate if the previous light is lit. So you get that counting effect. And this is basically the same circuit without the latch. The latch is the output tied to the control of the auto switch here. So you turn it on and it just keeps itself on. The only way to turn that off is to either break this connection here or cut the power completely, which is the way I chose to do it, because breaking the connection there requires a gate, another switch for every switch here, and that's just not practical and would add more delay. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed this video, hope it comes of use. Cheers, and where's my character to do my requisite wave goodbye? There it is. Bye bye.